Welcome to In Defense Of, the segment where I take a much maligned topic off the internet and I defend out of it. Today's topic, the Black Little Mermaid. Now, before I go any further, I want to point out that politically, I am a moderate, both as the way I vote and the way I live my life, and I have no skin in this game, whether the Little Mermaid ends up being white or black or somewhere in between. Who knows what it could be. However, it seems that a lot of people out there care very much about this, and I understand that. It is valid for people to dislike the SJW woke culture that has been taking over genre entertainment for a while. They seem to be attacking all of our nerd culture things. No video game or movie is safe from their alterations. Today, I'm not going to argue that your thoughts or feelings are invalid. As a matter of fact, they are very valid. What I am going to argue today is that not only under certain circumstances are race or gender swaps appropriate, but they can be explained away within the science fiction or magical context of a lot of these nerdy stories that we follow, and therefore it can be fun for all. Now, before we go any further, I want to let you know that I am interested in having a conversation no matter what your opinion is. I would love to hear it in the comments. I would love to see it all over social media. I would love to have this conversation with you as long as we keep it respectful and real. We're having debates, not arguments. And that being said, let us get underway. Our first point that the defense would like to make is the location of the story. Now, many believe it could be Denmark simply because that's where the Arthur originally comes from. However, other explorations believe that it is Italian, that it is clear Italian royalty and other Italian people are involved in the story. Now, there is a third theory that also is possible. It is possible that they are an Italian colony in the Caribbean. And so why would we say it's in the Caribbean? Exhibit A, Sebastian, the Jamaican lobster. Now, I've traveled all over the world and I've had seafood all over the world. I've had it in Europe, I've had it in Northern Africa, and I've had it in even Japan. But I would say I have never encountered a Jamaican lobster. You know why? They only come from one place on this earth, and that is in the Caribbean. What type of people live naturally in the Caribbean? That's right, dark-skinned people, which now opens the door for this way. Now, what is a merfolk? I would like to bring up three theories as to what merfolk is and why it would make sense that if they are in an Italian colony in the Caribbean, it would make sense that the merfolk around those waters would have dark skin. The first one is, have you ever been to the beach and you're swimming and you're in the ocean all day, or maybe you're in your swimming pool and you're in the water all day, and for some reason when you get home, you have a sunburn and you're like, but I was under the water. You know why? People still sunburn underwater. Even the layers of the water cannot protect you from the rays of the sun. And as we all know, melanin, the thing that darkens people's skin, is developed an evolutionary characteristic to protect people's skin from the sun. It only makes sense that if they were in sunny areas like the Caribbean, that the merfolk would also evolve to have such characteristics. Now, let's say they're not naturally evolved there. Let's say they're mutated humanoids. That would also make sense. Humans, either magically or through science, mutated in the Caribbean area would make merfolk that have dark skin. And finally, our third origin of the merfolks is that perhaps these merfolks are descendants of humans mating with other fish-like creatures. Once again, it would make sense that they would carry on the characteristics of the people within the Caribbean islands. Now, I'm not about gender or race swaps in general. I don't always hate them, but I usually don't appreciate them, especially from it's something, a story or a comic or something that I'm really into, that I really enjoy, that I consider myself a super fan. It actually annoys me to a great deal. I am your typical red-blooded American in that regard. However, in the original Hans Christian Andersen story, the mermaids were described as having translucent skin that was greenish in tint. It is not until she is actually enchanted and gains legs, but also gains the complexion of a white girl. Altering her to look like a beautiful human throughout the entire piece is already changing the character. Now, this is in the standard of everything. If you look at every fairy tale or story Disney has ever done, they've either added or subtracted characters or streamlined them to fit the story they want to make. Just as other public domain figures such as Frankenstein or Dracula are changed throughout the ages, everyone has their own version. I'm saying Disney feels they can do the same thing. And if we do a tradition of all these other stories, why can't we do The Little Mermaid? A perfect, wonderful example is my man Santa Claus. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I know no one makes you happier than my man Santa Claus and what he does to us. But the truth is, this red, fat mother is not the original Santa Claus at all. The original Santa Claus was a gnome. That's right, a little dude. It was a little dude who lived in a tree. Look it up. But what I'm saying is people have adapted the story to their needs, just as Disney has done to other fables. And if they've done it with everything from Hunchback of Notre Dame all the way back to Cinderella or Snow White or all the other Golden Age ones, I see no reason for altering this story. Now, another thing I'd like to bring up is the oddity that the majority of people who are covering this tale seem to be grown men between the ages of 25 and 40 years old, mostly on the internet, on your Rumbles, on your YouTubes, on your Instagrams. The question I have is, what are grown men doing caring about whether a mermaid looks correctly or what race she is? It's baffling to me, and it should baffle you, the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I'm confused right now. Now, I understand if you're a Lauren Chen, a Grace Randolph, a Brett Cooper, Vera Dark, that Star Wars girl, Comic Book Girl 19, a Sally Beth Draper, you know the rap. It makes sense that you might have a passion for who the identity of the Little Mermaid is. However, if you're a grown man on the internet, is it really that important? This is the question I have for you. I want you all to search your souls on this one. Now, finally, we come to a very important element of this entire thing. What does this case come down to? And really, at the end of the day, the only thing that ever matters about the appearance of merfolk is if their women are hot. And the defense rests, Your Honor. In closing, now I know what you're thinking. You think that I'm one of these shiesty lawyers who are gonna bamboozle you with propaganda and feel bad situations to make you vote in my way. I'm gonna say something like the real children of America are the victims because they can't have a simple mermaid story told to them in live action form. But no, I'm tired of children taking all the victimhood. The real victims, it's everyone in America. Because the politicalization of merfolk is disgusting. What next? Elves? Goblins? Superheroes? I'm not going to stand for it. It's gotten so political. Did you know that there are 2 young men, visual artists, use special effects, CGI, to make the Ariel trailer appear as if she's white? They gave her blue eyes and lightened her skin, and they scrunched up her nose and made her look like a white girl straight out of the original Disney. It was actually pretty impressive. But that is neither here nor there. The point is that it's these types of shenanigans that are deteriorating our fantasy stories. We need to work together. Another important thing that I want you all to remember is the more we bitch about these franchises, the more we don't even give leeway to people about these entire things. They're just going to take them away. If we keep complaining about all the Lords of the Rings and the Houses of the Dragons and the Littles of the Mermaids and their races and their colors and the politics involved, we won't have any toys to play with because it'll be too much of a headache for them to make them. That is exactly what happened to the Snyder Cut Yes, I know it seems like I always make everything about the Snyder Cut, but this is what happened to the Snyder Cut. It became such a headache, they just didn't want to make them anymore. So what you want? Do you want no more mermaids in your stories? Do you want no more elves in your stories? Do you want all the fun to be taken away? What next, Transformers? Over the racial divide, that we all know what this divide is about. It's about politics. And I ask you to leave your politics at the door and vote yes on Little Mermaid 2023. I rest.